Hola, Orsolya here from Simply Cuba Tours. Today I wanted to touch base with you to tell you a bit more about what you can expect when you're traveling with us. I'd like to introduce ourselves to you, who we are, what we do, how we prepare you for your travels, what services we offer, and hopefully with that you will learn how and why you should be traveling with us. So first of all, my name is Orsolya. You have seen my face around, although I have decided to do something different. I don't know what you think of the color. Anyway, you have seen my face around. I am the one who's willing to hop onto camera more often than not. I am the Australian part of Simply Cuba Tours. I am the one who encouraged Yoanis to let's make things happen, let's do something different, and let's take people to Cuba so they can come and enjoy Cuba with us and hopefully love it as much as we do. Yoanis, my husband, he is a Cuban tour guide. We met on tour in Cuba, obviously. Cuba and him captured my heart, so here we are. He's been a tour guide for 15 years, and initially I actually encouraged him to be a guide, to start something different, but at that time unfortunately Cubans couldn't have any other businesses apart from taxis and casas and paladas, so which is why Simply Cuba was born as an Australian company based in Australia, and hopefully we can get in front of people around the world from here a lot easier than we would have been able to do so in Cuba. So as mentioned, Yoanis is Cuban, our guides are Cuban, all of our team are Cuban, our casa owners are Cuban, although some of them have some beautiful love stories like ourselves. So we absolutely love working with them. Obviously, our goal is to be able to help people in Cuba through tourism, which is why we make sure that we use the services of private service providers, from our guides to our drivers to our casas to paladas. Basically, we tap into our network of people around the island who offer services that you will be able to enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean that you will have to slump it at Aunt Mary's house when you come and visit with us, when you do a tour with us. We've been around the island and made sure that we have provided the best of the best, the cream of the crop for you. So what are the things that we do? We actually put out content to help you learn, help you prepare for your Cuban holiday. We anything from cooking to making cocktails to which casas we stay at, so you can see, and even tips on how to getting around if you don't want to come with us. But let's step back. What happens when you travel with us? Because really what I wanted to talk about is what you can expect if you were to travel with Simply Cuba Tours. So first of all, we actually help you plan. So we don't book your flights, but we've got travel agents we can refer you on to who are able to help you to book your flights. Obviously, travelers come from around the world, so which is why we tap into agents from around the world that can assist you. But in saying that, we do travel ourselves as well. Yoanis is due back in Australia shortly, and having a Cuban traveling around the globe can be rather challenging with stopovers, transit visas and things like that. So we definitely keep an eye on different routes that you can take to Cuba to make sure you don't have too much of a stopover and you don't have some of the challenges that people who want to potentially travel through the US, if they're Australian or European, may be faced with. So we help you with tips and hints in that regard. We can also then help you with your tourist card. So we've got services in place that assist you with your tourist card. It doesn't matter if you come direct from the US to Cuba or if you're coming from any other parts of the world, we can actually assist you with getting your tourist card sorted. In saying that, we always do say that check with your airline first, because depending on which route you're coming, which airline you're flying, it might already be included in your airline. So things like that, we will remind you. We will, also make sure that our services that we offer actually meet the requirement of the support of the Cuban people, general travel license for our US travelers. So rest assured, when you're traveling with us, we never stay in hotels and we always use the services of private service provider. As I mentioned, our existence is around making sure that we in fact support the Cuban people. So I mentioned I touched based on the flight. So what is the challenges that Australian or European travelers may have? If you want to travel from the US, there are a few things that we put into consideration for you with regard to whether you can travel on your ESTA, whether you would need a visa. Whilst we can't assist you, we can at least keep you posted and keep you updated with any changes that happen around there, because obviously we don't want you to be getting caught out in your travels. Best time to visit Cuba, obviously, we also guide you with that. So you might have set holidays where you have to get away. So, by all means, please do so. But if there is a certain activity that you had in mind, we obviously ask you to question about it, and we want to make sure that you are coming at the right time for said activity for the best experience as well. People are asking whether or not buying a tour to Cuba or not is worth it. I personally have to say, I always had a guide by my side, and I think they're definitely worth their weight in gold. My Spanish is un poco mierda, to say the least. It's a little bit bad. So, it definitely helps. Many people don't speak English around the island. So if you don't have Spanish, it helps. There are other challenges with regard to fuel, with regard to drivers, negotiating prices, with regard to finding activities, and of course, Google Maps. And not to mention that if you don't have a local by the side, even shopping can be a challenge. And what I was really getting to is you miss out on a lot of things that are very local, because, they know history that you might not know. They know places that you won't know. So if you're not traveling with a guide, even if you're getting a guide here, getting a guide there, getting a guide at the next stop, you really are missing out on a whole aspect of Cuba in a way. So, if your aim is just to come and sit on the beach, by all means, no problem, get an all-inclusive hotel package. But if you are coming to Cuba to actually learn about the culture, learn about the history, to actually get around the place, we definitely recommend that you do it with a tour, with a group. Even things like the fuel shortage, the guys on the island, they know how to get around it, how to make sure that you can get from A to B as planned and on time, to make sure that you're actually completing your itinerary and you get to enjoy it without a headache, without thinking, where am I going to eat next? Where am I going to find this next? What am I even going to do tomorrow? How am I going to get to the next town? You don't need those headaches, and that's why tours are great, and that's the service that we offer. Whether you're choosing an itinerary that's already preset, or if it's an itinerary that we come up for you, that is what we offer. Basically, you get into Havana, we pick you up from there, and everything on your itinerary we said we would do, we would have already booked and arranged for you, and we'll make sure that you get a beautiful holiday that is absolutely free of headaches and challenges. We also send you reminders when you're preparing for your travel, and we also send you information. So reminders around your travel insurance, the sort of travel insurance that you need, reminders around your documents, reminders around filling in the personal entry form, all that sort of thing, reminders around the money to bring, the currency, the backup plans, and all that sort of thing. We actually send you information around to make sure that you are prepared for your trip. So when you travel with us, your travel doesn't start, or the excitement doesn't start when you get there. You actually start getting excited by the information of how to prepare for your holiday, the things that we're putting in place for you, things like where to stay is all sorted. And as mentioned, Yoanis and I have gone around the island. We picked the cream of the crop to make sure you get an amazing experience without having to give up the luxuries we're used to in the Western world, without having to run through Aunt Mary's backyard to get into your accommodation, whilst at the same time still staying in areas where you get to see the way of local lives, and to get to mingle with your host as much or as little as you'd like, to learn about their life and what Ireland is all about. We also tell you all about the food. We check your dietary requirements, so both before and during the trip, to make sure that we, getting the food right for you, that you're only eating at places that are safe, that have delicious food, that have great service and are value for money as well. We also provide you drinking water along the way. So, basically, we are here to provide your service so you can have a stress-free and beautiful holiday in Cuba, and that you come prepared for this island, because everything here, from the mentality and how the way things work, is completely different from the rest of the world. I hope that helped, and come and check us out on our website and learn more about us and our trips.